us. We are within a couple hundred seats of a total sellout. I spoke with the arena executives yesterday, and they've assured me that we've already set the revenue record for the arena. So we're really proud of that. Thankful for all the fan support. The one thing I want to highlight about the main event is it's the first time that we'll be doing a 5-round non-championship fight. So that should prove to be interesting to watch.
If I could start with Mark, please. Mark, obviously we talked about the matchup quite a bit, but this is a main event fight for you, a very significant moment, I would think. What's it like, being kind of center of attention and being in the main event at this time?
It's pretty awesome. It's awesome, man. This is what we work for. This is why we're here in the UFC. We want to be the best, and I definitely want to be the best. And I'm getting closer and closer, and this is one of the steps to get there. So I'm definitely going to take it. And
we've talked a lot about your winning streak and obviously, the advancement that you've shown recently, but Chris seems like a different type of opponent than you fought as of late, primarily grapplers. Can you maybe talk about his striking and how it lines up with guys that you faced in the past?
He throws bombs. He does. And I throw bombs too. So bombs away. I mean, it's going to be an exciting fight for sure, because he brings it and I bring it. So I mean, he's different because he brings the fight and he comes to fight and he's a natural born fighter, and I bring the fight too. So that's why Joe Silva and Dana put this matchup together, because we both bring it. So it's going to be exciting for sure.
Thanks, Mark. If I follow up with Chris, obviously it's the first time you've been in the main event in a while, but you've been in this position before. Is there a different experience to it? I mean, we hear guys say all the time, "Oh, it's just another fight. It's just another fight." But is there any difference in it?
Some guys let it get to them. I guess you got to sit there, watch everybody go out, come back bloody, and go, "Still not my turn yet." But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm here to do my job. I don't care if there's 10,000, 20,000 people watching or 2 people watching. I don't care if there's 100 fights before me. I only got one fight I need to worry about, and that's Mark. That's the only thing that I'm focusing on right now. And you know what? Nothing changes nothing. Once that cage door closes, we're trying to kick the shit out of each other.
And Chris, some fans have been a little bit critical of the main event, both here and in the U.S., saying, well, it's we wanted bigger names. How do you feel about it? Do you listen to that criticism to upset you when you hear things like that?
No. The fact is, I'm probably the worst fan of the sport. I don't read the internet blogs. I don't care. All I care about is getting better, training. And when they offered up Mark and said, "Hey, main event," I said, "You know what? That's great. That's a great idea." Why? Because just like he said, we both throw bombs. You guys are going to have a main event you're not going to have to worry about. Sometimes we put these main events together because they're names, and it sucks. We're going to get in there and we're going to do it. I promise you a great show.
Eddie, can you explain why you think you're so popular with UK fighters?
Because I'm loud.
I think it relates to the fact that you're very much a stand-up kind of guy.
Yeah, I think, honestly, in the UK, you guys have a wonderful background in striking, such a history of boxing, and as far, in America, we've got wrestling in high school, and lots and lots of wrestling. Your culture has grown to love and appreciate the stand-up art, and I think that they enjoy seeing knockouts, They don't want to see 2 guys rolling around on the ground. They want to see guys throwing bombs, knocking each other out, and I mean, that's what I do, I think that's why I like it. I hope so.
Brad, obviously you're incredibly popular over here for a very similar reason that Chris has just explained. And how does it feel for you to make finally your UFC debut on home soil as well?
It's brilliant being able to, obviously my last 4 fights been over in the US, and I fought in the WEC, not the UFC, and the WEC is not really covered over in the UK, so a lot of people are just getting into the UFC from the UK. Won't even know who I am, basically, unless you're really into the sport, because it's not covered over there. But now they get a chance to see what I'm about, and I believe if anyone's watched any of my fights, or if they haven't gone on YouTube and watched my highlights, and they're going to love my style. Just like Chris said, I bring it every time. I throw bombs, and I always look to finish. And just like Chris as well, I don't care about getting hit. It's part of the sport. If you don't like getting hit, you're in the wrong sport.
There's one thing I like to say. I've been watching a lot of fights lately where the champs, they seem to, maybe it's just me, but it seems like they're fighting not to lose. You know, for myself, I quit if that's what I start doing. I fight to win. I fight to finish my opponent. I don't fight to not lose. And that's what you're going to see.
Ferdinand, please, obviously this is your second UFC fight. I'm wondering if there's any lessons that were taken out of the first fight that you can bring to this fight, and maybe if that might provide an advantage over Brad, who's in his first fight.
Minha parte de wrestling, melhorei muito e meu treinamento junto com minha equipe de boxe, Muay Thai e meu jiu-jitsu, acho que vai fazer bastante diferença.
Was a very different since when my last fight that I trained a lot of wrestling and put a lot of hard work on the Thai boxing and boxing, and as I've been doing jiu-jitsu for such a long time, I think this is going to be the differential on this fight.
What was your initial thought process?
Man, I'm going to have to find healthy food in England again. You know what? Being the main event, especially a card that's going to be on TV like this, gives me a ton of exposure. I'm stoked. I love fighting over here. The sport might not be quite as known by everybody, you know, as like it is in the States, but your guys' fans are fanatics, man. You guys are bananas about the sport, you know. So I'm stoked, you know. I'm stoked for the matchup. I'm stoked to be main event. I mean, in my opinion, this fight with Mark right here, this decides #1 contender right here. He's been on a roll. I knocked out 4 of them. Won my last 4 out of 5. Knocked put Vanderlei away in 27 seconds. He's been killing everybody. You know, this is the fight that decides, you know, who gets that title shot, you know. I had to come over here for it.
Could you give us a little insight into your favourite English foods and your worst? Your experience of English cuisine?
If we can't boil it, we slap it between 2 pieces of bread. Don't get me wrong, sandwiches are handy. You know, eat fork, right? I mean, I get it, but you know, English food is good. Just not when you're training. You know, on Sunday I'll love English food, but right now I really can't eat a lot of it. So it has been, you know, posed a little bit of an issue as far as eating what I like to eat, what my body's used to, you know, and, you know, diet is so important. It's one thing that over the years I've learned, you know, you are what you eat, what you put into your body, so, you know, I gotta be real careful, which means I had to do a lot of shopping, you know, I just boiled pasta in my teapot. That's what I did. I just made whole wheat pasta in my teapot for after weigh-ins.